A security camera recorded this dog every night for 3 months. His owner had no idea. What it caught at 2:30 in the morning, the same time every single night, left them both speechless. This is Rex, and this is what 273 days in a shelter looks like when it finally finds somewhere to belong. A 170-pound English Mastiff sat by the same door for 9 months. 273 days. 41 different families walked past his kennel. Not one of them stopped. And on the night a camera finally caught what he does at 2:30 in the morning, everything anyone thought they knew about this dog and about loyalty itself changed forever. His name was Rex, fawn-colored with a head the size of a small television and eyes that looked like they'd already lived through something most people never would. The shelter workers at Ridgewood Animal Rescue called him the gentle giant nobody wanted. Not because he was broken, not because he was dangerous, because he was 170 pounds, and most people, when they saw him, simply kept walking. The man who finally stopped was named Ethan Cole, 29 years old, recently divorced, living in a 2-bedroom apartment in Columbus, Ohio that echoed when he moved through it. He hadn't come to the shelter to adopt. He'd come to drop off a bag of donated food. He was halfway out the door when he heard it. Not a bark, not a whine, just a low, steady exhale coming from the last kennel on the left. He turned around. Rex was sitting completely still, watching him with the quiet patience of an animal that had already learned not to expect too much. Ethan stood there for a long moment. Then he walked to the front desk and said 4 words, "I'll take the big one." The first week was, to put it gently, an event. Rex had never lived indoors. He spent the first night walking the perimeter of the apartment 14 times, pressing his enormous nose against every baseboard, every corner, every hinge. He knocked the kitchen trash can over twice, once at midnight, once at 3:15 in the morning. He sat on Ethan's couch and the left cushion dropped 4 inches and never fully recovered. He snored, loudly, the kind of snoring that rattled the window frame. But here's what he also did. Every single evening at exactly 6:47, when Ethan's key hit the lock, Rex was already at the door, not jumping, not barking, just there, a 170-pound wall of warm, wrinkled presence, tail swinging slowly like a pendulum, waiting. Weeks passed, then months. They built a life, the two of them, in that echoing apartment that slowly stopped echoing. Rex learned that the vacuum cleaner was not a threat, but remained personally offended by it. Ethan learned that Rex's food bowl needed to be filled before coffee was made, or the staring would begin. Deep, unblinking, philosophical staring that made Ethan feel vaguely guilty about his entire existence. Some stories are too important to keep to yourself. If this is reaching you right now, share it with someone who needs it today. But it was on an ordinary Tuesday in November that something shifted. Ethan had been working late, a project deadline, cold leftovers for dinner, the particular kind of exhaustion that isn't about sleep. He came home at 11:40 p.m., later than usual. Rex met him at the door the same way he always did, but this time, after Ethan sat down on the couch and put his head in his hands, Rex did something different. He didn't sit across the room. He walked over slowly, lowered his massive frame onto the cushion beside Ethan, the one that never fully recovered, and pressed the full weight of his enormous head into Ethan's lap. 170 pounds of dog, just there, quiet, certain. I see you still haven't subscribed. Honestly, that breaks my heart. Hit that button right now. You won't want to miss what comes next. Now here's what the camera caught. Ethan had set up a simple security camera in the hallway 3 months earlier after a neighbor reported a break-in 2 floors down. He'd barely thought about it after that. It just recorded, quietly, every night, until his sister asked to see it. She'd been visiting for a weekend and noticed something Ethan had missed entirely: Rex's behavior between midnight and 3 a.m. So they pulled up the footage together on a Sunday afternoon, coffee in hand, expecting nothing. What they saw stopped them both cold. Every single night, without exception, at almost exactly 2:30 in the morning, Rex got up from wherever he was resting, walked to the front door, and sat down facing it. Not pacing, not whining, just sitting, watching the door, still as stone. For 45 minutes, they watched 8 nights of footage back to back. 8 nights, same time, same door, same stillness. On 2 of those nights, the hallway security footage from the building's shared system later showed figures moving past the floor, neighbors coming home late, once a maintenance worker, once someone who paused outside Ethan's door for 11 seconds before moving on. Rex never barked, never woke Ethan, never made a sound. He just watched. Ethan sat with that footage for a long time before he said anything. Then he looked at his sister and said quietly, "He's been doing his job this whole time. I just didn't know it." 273 days in a shelter, 41 families who kept walking, 9 months of sitting still, watching a door that never opened for him, and then a man who only came to drop off food. Rex is 4 years old now. The left couch cushion is still 4 inches lower than the right. The kitchen trash can has a lid with a latch that Ethan had to special order online because Rex figured out the regular kind in under a week. And every night at 2:30 in the morning, in a Columbus apartment that no longer echoes, a 170-pound English Mastiff sits by the front door and watches over the one person who stopped. Not because he was trained, not because he has to, because some animals make a decision quietly, completely, without asking for anything in return. And if you're thinking about adopting a dog, any dog, big or small, young or old, please don't walk past the last kennel. Don't let the size or the weight of what they've already been through make you keep moving. Because sometimes the ones who've been passed over the most are exactly the ones who will show up for you the hardest. The ones who will sit by your door at 2:30 in the morning every single night without you ever having to ask. Is this instinct or is this love? Tell me in the comments. I genuinely want to know what you think.